John White here, talking about the MRT in Denver. And we want to give you a little feel of what we've been doing for, some of us, 4 or 5 months. First of all, the location. This is a very spiritual place. This is the Duffy Roll Cafe. We meet here every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, 9 to 11 or 11:30. And we have something to eat. There's the, where's the basket?
The remnants?
There's the remnants, the crumbs, and coffee and Duffy rolls. And we spread out on the table, and we spend a couple of hours together. So each of the guys here are going to share a little bit about what we do, what's been meaningful to us. So we're going to start with Noah here first.
Yeah.
Tell us who you are, first of all.
My name's Noah, from Denver, Castle Rock. Moving to New Zealand soon, so it's kind of my last leg here with this MRT. Gonna go hopefully help get something else going on. So
Thinking about an MRT in New Zealand at some point,
yeah,
probably.
if, as the Lord leads, not of my own doing, but yeah.
How would you describe what goes on here Tuesday mornings?
We roll in at 9, I would say. Desi rolls in at 5 minutes after on his phone. And
Thanks a lot.
and then yeah, we just get started. We could do like a number of things. One, we'll start by checking in with each other, kind of talking about where everyone's at. That feels like a place to stay. We'll hang around on that for a little while. Just make sure that everyone feels kind of like they got their piece out and they're able to be there. Second part, we'll talk about Denver. Like, what do we feel about Denver? What's going on in the city? What do we feel like the Lord's leading in that area? And we'll kind of listen for a little while. And listening is probably the third practice that we try to do. Is just, we'll actually sit here in Duffy Roll and just be quiet, which is probably awkward for everyone. But we just sit and listen. And usually God will show us something, and then we kind of share it with each other. So
Very good. Okay.
Pretty much the practicals of how we do it.
Yep. Pretty simple.
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay. Desi or Hobby next? Who's next?
I'll be next.
Okay, you're the quiet one here.
Yeah, I'm pretty quiet. So, so two things that are kind of cool is one is just something to remember, and especially as an MRT is a missional resource team. But what we've found is the most missional thing that we can do is just simply listening to God and letting Him set the agenda. And so we connect together on a heart level, we share with each other, we hang out, we joke around, and then we try to ask the Lord. Just like in a CO2, and I'm assuming you've watched the CO2 thing or whatever, for us with the MRT, we're simply asking God, what do you want to say to us? And then the kind of difference is, what do you want to say to us about Denver? And we've seen that mission flows out of listening, and it's worked really well. And from a pragmatic standpoint, we've been more missional instead of trying to be missional, trying to be people who are good listeners and listen to what the Lord says. And then one other practical thing right here. If you, in your group, if you could have someone who's kind of organized a little bit, that wouldn't be me. In our group, that's John, who can kind of, as you share things, kind of mark things down and kind of look at. So here's one from the 19th of January. So this was a bit ago. But looking at like, hey, here's some different things that we've been thinking about. Here's things that are going on in Denver. I would just keep these lists, and so we've got here, it's another page too, 2 pages. We keep a list in front of us saying, what is God saying? And let's look over these things, and where are we at now? And so those are the 2 things I want to share.
And the significance of your T-shirt, what does it say here?
It says, I love Stout Month. And so local pub has Stout Month in February, and they've got a whole bunch of stouts. So that's it.
All right. Hobby.
Desi honors the culture here.
That's right.
What we
We're
appreciate.
incarnational.
That's right. So my name's Hobby. I'm a leader of a house church network up in Brighton area, in Thornton, Commerce City. And so I've been doing this MRT for about 2 months now. It's been a real blessing to me. We want to see a vibrant family of Jesus on every block, in every neighborhood throughout the Denver metro area and throughout the state. And we hope to see that just continue to have a viral effect throughout the whole world. And so we're coming together and we're listening, and one of the big things that I find is peer support for one another and collaboration. We're not kind of working together in any official way in terms of being supported by an organization. we're autonomous from one another, but we want to see collaboration and feel the Lord kind of drawing us together in that. Desi and I are able to kind of share some specific struggles and be able to encourage each other. It might be over maybe some concerns about sustainability and finances, or it might be an issue of leadership. And so I think there's a special thing about peer support and peer mentoring, and I think that's been one special blessing of that. So that comes out of our check-ins and our listening times.
Desi, you said earlier that you spend time with a lot of young people, and so this is a chance to more of a peer kind of situation.
Yeah. So that's been really cool. A lot of what I do is coaching with guys younger. I'm 33 and coaching a lot of guys who are in their 20s and hanging out with them. And so this has been really awesome for me to be able to be with guys like John, whose name is John White and his hair reflects his name, and guys like that where I normally don't kind of have as many of those interactions. And so that's been Hughes. His 50s too, I guess. And so I don't know. So that's been really cool. Throwing out numbers.
Hugh Brandt is ordinarily here with us, but he had another meeting this morning, couldn't be with us. Anything else you guys want to add to the story?
Just be real.
Be real?
Be real with each other.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. That sounds like that'll sell.
Just do it.
God is the missionary God. And so if you want to live a missionary life, I don't think you have to go and figure this thing out. But we talk to him and say, Lord, you are way more missional than we'll ever be. What are you calling us to do? What's the piece of the puzzle you want us to live out? And he'll speak to you. He will. And so that's what we've seen. And that's been the cool thing.
One other thing I would add is, we talked about this morning, is that our format is so simple here that we basically do two things, in addition to eating. And the first thing is checking in with each other on a heart level. We use Sachet to do that. And the second thing is talking about what we're hearing God say about the city of Denver.
Yeah.
So really, anybody could start an MRT with those two simple things. It's like a house church or simple church.
Yeah.
You know those two things, and you know enough to get started with that. So
Yeah.
We want to see all of our families, even at the most basic level, being able to do this. And so we want to be able to model this and do it on every level.
And so MRTs could multiply very, very rapidly. Hobby and Desi talked about at some point they may split off and start another MRT in North Denver, and they're totally qualified to do that. They know everything they need to know to be able to pull that off. So that's MRT in Denver.
Yeah.